Hello, welcome back to my channel. Connect and Luke here for another Blue Friday show, and it's international break. We don't have to watch Man City. So I did watch the Man City women in the Champions League against Chelsea, and they played
A good
wonderfully.
team. A good team, by the way.
I won't go that far, that fourth.
Well,
I said it.
under cushion, they're good. Under cushion, they're good.
Well, it's the first ever game I've watched of them, so I don't know. But they played really well. I can't lie. Women's football is actually entertaining. Like, obviously, if they played against men, they get played off the park. But it's actually entertaining to watch, isn't it?
It's getting better and better every year, by the way. It's gonna get. I reckon in about 10 years' time, it'll be a very. I'm not saying men's football, but it's gonna get to a very, very high level because the more girls get into it, it's good.
Yeah, obviously, there's this thing called sports heritage, which is like the first generation that plays a sport within a country tends to be significantly worse than every generation that comes after it. So the first generation of baseball players in Japan were incredibly poor, but the second generation who learned from that first generation ended up becoming world champions. And since then, Japan has been very dominant in baseball. So with girls, obviously, it's now the second generation coming through. That's going to grow, isn't it? But anyhow, that's not what I'm here to talk about today. Let's get into chat first. Hello, Wim. Hello, how are you? Yeah, I saw that Robin Veldman, played in the academy from Club Brugge, has left to join Heerenveen. Yeah, leave a like, big up to Luke, and big up to Dasil. Go subscribe to both these men's channels. Not guilty on 115. Is there any news about that?
No.
Or are you just asking?
Real.
Well, unless you go to a certain account. Oh, I've confirmed by sources that I'll just get in the bin. I'm not doing this. Like until I hear Ornstein's reporting it or they've been reporting it as actually factual information, I'm not believing anyone's.
I want to see the Premier League or Man City's report on it.
Exactly.
Or from the court itself. Like anything else, I'm not really going to bother with. Season debrief from my perspective, says Dasil, a Bayern München fan. Complacent.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
I think it's more than just the transfer window, by the way, where we've been complacent. I think a lot of players have been complacent as well, isn't it? Where they've had this idea of we can do it and just been lazy on the pitch. At the start of the season, it was more of that. Like I feel like players are now putting in more of a shift. But at the start of the season, we felt quite lazy at times, didn't we? Where the players just didn't bother to run back. I remember that clip from Bernardo Silva where I don't remember who it was against. I think it was Newcastle, where the ball was coming down the left. He didn't bother to run back. And I feel like that was happening a lot in the early half of the season. And hopefully it's been improving, but improving too slowly, if you ask me.
Yeah, baby steps.
Yeah.
I'm too impatient, though. Prediction England today. You play against Albania, right, you said?
4-0. 4-0.
Yeah, should be winning that.
Albania are not bad, by the way. I do watch a bit of European football, but Albania, I mean, they're not bad, but we should be beating them. There should be no, issues there. If there are issues, then questions need to be asked at the players, really, and the manager. It's that simple, really.
Yeah. Are they going to do Club Women against Anderlecht Women? Well, when do they play? Let me check that. Tomorrow? Yes, I will. Yeah. And hello, big up to our That Is Mighty Challenges. Oh my days, chat is active already. Hello, Rosa. Hello, how are you doing? Thomas Tuchel angry and upset. Why so?
Just say quickly, Alf, if anyone hasn't subbed to Alf yet, get him. We have one more sub away from 650 subscribers. If you can get him there tonight, it'd be good.
Big up. We're almost to 650.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walker in the squad. What is your opinions on that? Because obviously you two are full-time English.
I don't really care, mate. I think it's the same as me. Like it's Latvia and Albania. You could play Buddy Rooney out of retirement. I wouldn't care. Like it's these two. It was like Germany and Italy. I'd be like, right, play Maddison, Watkins, play the form level, high level players. But it was seeing Dan Burn deserves it. I think Konza deserves it. Gibbs White deserves it. A lot of the Forest players are in there, which is good. It's Albania and Latvia. I'm not being arrogant. I'm just saying Latvia. I mean, I've watched them for a while, but I know they're not the best themselves. But
Yeah.
we should be beating both teams for this. It was like Belgium or Netherlands. We probably see a lot more stronger team probably.
You will beat Belgium comfortably. Like this Belgium team, yeah, without De Bruyne, it's just toothless. I can't lie. It's not just De Bruyne's ability, which is. If you watch the Ukraine game, by the way, I get to watch it in bits while I was at the hospital. De Bruyne is still our best player, and he's old and washed. How is an old washed player?
He's not even washed, mate. His legs are gone. He's not washed. He's still a good player, just not just. He'd be better in a slower league. He'd be better in a slower league. Like in Italy, he cook. Slower league, not much pace.
But you know what? This year, so many of these players. Trossard, he's done fuck all since ever playing for Belgium. He still gets the call up. Romelu Lukaku is the worst striker I have ever seen for Belgium. I'm sorry. He is the worst. He missed chances against France in 2018 World Cup. Croatia 2022. Champions League final disaster by Lukaku.
No.
I mean, if they had 10 men and Lukaku wasn't on the pitch, they literally win that fight. Lukaku was actively playing against Internationale. He's the worst striker I've ever seen in a Belgian shirt. He's our top scorer, not because he's good, but because he had Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, Tielemans, Witsel feeding him, spoon feeding him, and he still missed hella chances. So this guy, he shot the how this guy gets called up still, I don't get it.
How's a Pender for you guys? How's a Pender for you guys?
Better than Lukaku, but that's not saying a lot, is it?
No, but I like a Pender myself. I think he's a good player.
I don't. Okay. Because Openda, if you don't know, he came through the Club Rouge Academy, dog shit for us. Plays for the Belgium, can't fucking score. Honestly, I would rather see Romeo Vermont there. But give Gustav Nielsen. If you ever watch my Club Brugge watch-alongs, 90% of the time I'm fuming at Gustav Nielsen. Give him Belgian citizenship right now. Let him play for the Belgium. He'll be better. Or play with a fast line. Anything else than playing Lukaku, honestly. I don't want to see that man play.
Also, we'll also do a prediction for the Nations League as well, because I just want to see who wins that. Because so far, I'm lost like Croatia beating France. France is shit, by the way. They are shit.
Oh yeah, they've been bored since the World Cup final.
I'm sorry, but for me, right with Deschamps, he should be sacked now. He should be sacked. If France want a chance to win the World Cup, they have to sack him now. It's clearly he's part of the sell by date, like Southgate was. It's not working. He won a World Cup, fair play. Since then, average. They're an average at best. And I look at Spain. Netherlands are a weird one right now. I'm not sure about Netherlands. They've got good players, but I'm not sure whether it's like a great team. Spain, obviously, when they have Rodri back, much better team. But it's weird though. Like I watched the European games, and there's not anyone really standing out right now. Other big teams, it's a bit open.
Yeah, Spain. Big up. It's my brother here with my food. Let's see. Nee, okay. 2 flessen water. My apologies. Sorry.
Oh.
Right. 1 second. Go on. I'll turn on my lights.
Bloody hell. There we go.
Well, that was roots. Anyhow, what were you talking about? Sorry, I forgot because my brother came in. It was about the Nations League something.
Yeah, Nations League and how it's quite open at the top in terms of best teams right
now.
Yeah.
I remember what I was going to say. Spain without Rodri looks half the team they are normally with him. Honestly, Rodri, I think Rodri's injury has proven that he is the most deserved Ballon d'Or winner possible. Every team without his Man City, nowhere near without Rodri. And I know it's more than just Rodri being out for Man City, but without Rodri, Man City looks like a shell of itself. Yeah. Spain, same story. Don't look anywhere near. And I think Rodri is such an underrated player because people just don't understand midfielders. And I've talked about this a lot. I think midfielders, especially defensive midfielders, are the most important players on the pitch a lot and just get ignored because they play like a silent role. They play off the ball a lot, and people don't recognize that stuff.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I watched Brazil. Brazil last night as well, and Brazil looked terrible, man. Like they won 2-1 at Colombia, right? But Vinny Jr. got a goal, but I mean, he ain't been good for Brazil anyway. I follow a lot of Brazil City fans anyway. They were telling me the same thing. Brazil look nowhere near as fun as they used to be. They're a shell of a team. They've got skillful players, but it's not the level of Brazil that we used to. Like Guimarães and John Linton aren't good for Brazil. Like Alisson's been quite terrible for them recently. Like, when I look at like the big teams for the World Cup, right? If Tuchel can get England sorted out, playing better football, much more actually going on the attack. I like I said in the interview, England with a bit more personality, wanting to go and win the tournament and win the games. They can win the World Cup. I'm not saying they're going to do it, by the way, but if they can turn that around, they have a very good chance at winning America. Again, I know I'm not saying it's coming. I'm not like that stuff. That they've got to actually start locking in and playing confidence because people will actually respect England more if they did that around the world. They would, but the problem is everyone knows of England in the past. It's up here. It's terrible. Like all the players in the world, but it doesn't mean anything if you can't do it on the big stage.
Absolutely, and Harry Kane, by the way, big up to him for missing that penalty against France. That's something Lukaku would have done, missing that penalty. But I'll get into that later. First, I'll say, I think Germany right now is looking strong. I think Spain will win the World Cup, though.
Yeah.
But also, I think some African teams are looking strong. Morocco, Nigeria, Egypt, depending on how Salah plays. By that,
And Mamouche.
Next year, he could be a bit older. Marmouche, of course, coming through now, or well, not coming through, but breaking out. Egypt looks strong. There's a lot of strong teams there from Africa, I think.
Yeah.
I look at Asia right now. There's also some solid Asian teams. Now, I'm not saying any Asian team will win it, but
Uzbekistan,
Ruslanov, best defender in the world, apparently.
Yeah. Maldini, Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan.
But no, you're right, bro. You're right. It's good. Good to see
And
it more.
you know what it is, yeah? I think Europe has simply fallen off a bit.
It has.
Because everyone is complaining.
And South America, by the way, as well.
Yeah, South America was always two countries, to be fair. And sometimes Uruguay decided to join the party. But South America has always been still, in my opinion. What I'm really looking at here is like the big countries, with the exception of Spain, are nowhere near what they used to be. And it's because every country has the same youth system, which it just doesn't develop a good talent, does it? Like if you look at modern football talents, it's that, isn't it?
I look at England's right. I look at England's actual setup, right. The under-21s are insane. Have you seen the under-21 squad we've got? Like, we've got players coming through at the younger ages that are good players. But the problem is with us is, I'm not sitting and giddy. I'm thinking, well, how many times have we seen good players coming through under 17s? Like, obviously, actually be younger than me, but you've seen it yourself, obviously, recently. How many times have we seen England have some good players in their team, right? And they never put it on the world stage, like the World Cup or the Euro.
Rooney, Gerrard, Lampard, all in one team.
Well, even recently, but Bellingham, Foden are still young-ish. Foden's obviously getting more towards the prime mid-years now, where he's got to start playing better. But Bellingham's 21 still. He's still pretty young still in the game, which is crazy. I'm not even saying that because he's been around it for a long time, Jude. But we've got players coming through that. I mean, I should be sitting with chest saying that we've got a team. And I would be, and you think, you know what, fair enough, you have a right to be. But I've watched England too much the last few years, and how that played so boring. So if we can play good football again, then I'll be up for it. But right now, I need to see a lot more than just beating Latvia and Albania to get excited about next year. That's where I'm at, anyway.
What about you, Connect?
Well, I don't actually support England. England's not actually my national, but I did love seeing Southgate in charge. I've kept that a bit of a secret on my channel, but I will reveal it one day. Don't worry.
Okay. Secretive.
But yeah, I did enjoy Southgate's time in charge. But in terms of England's squad, yeah, they've got an absolutely stacked team. In terms of like individual talent, their team is stacked. But obviously, Southgate has hindered them. The appointment of Thomas Tuchel, I think, is it's a step up from Southgate, that's for sure. I think Tuchel's a solid coach, and I think similar to what you said, if Tuchel can get them playing solid football and actually get a decent system going, then they do have a shout in for being one of the better teams in the world, in the nationals now. So yeah, Tuchel just needs to get it right. He needs to find a squad of players that he likes to use, and I suspect that he's kind of, with Albania and Latvia, he's probably testing the waters a bit with the players that he's got, and looking a bit more into the future as well for certain players. And yeah, it's going to be all about how it goes. I do think Tuchel at times, I do think his football's not been the most exciting, but at the end of the day, he does get wins.
If you win, you win, right?
Yeah,
Good,
if you win, you win.
That's what I want.
Exactly.
I think if he can play good football with the style of play where we grind out results in the World Cup and tournament, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
that's what I
absolutely.
want to say.
At the end of the day, the most important thing about football is winning, not being entertaining or stuff like that. When are you getting the taper fade? I'm not. I'll keep my long hair as long as I can. Get Cancelo back. Oh, no.
That ship has sailed.
It's like fucking halfway across the world right now. That boat, they've come back. It's sunk in the ocean.
Talking about Sean here, he has a legend, so they will let him run down his contract. I think that's true. I think French football will let him run down his contract, but he might need to be sacked because he's playing or performing poorly.
France could generally have a shock exit in the groups of the World Cup. I'm just saying it right now because, as I said, if you actually watch the other qualifiers, I've watched the Asian Cup last year, and I loved it. Like Japan even didn't win the whole thing, but like yeah, like Iran playing well, yeah, Qatar playing well. There's some good teams coming through right now in the Asian countries. That Africa as well coming through. People are underestimating those two continents because Europe and South America have dominated for years in these tournaments, but at some point it's going to change, and because the quality's dropped now in the big teams, I think this coming World Cup will be a huge one.
You know what it is though? Europe and South America have dominated because football is more popular here.
Yeah.
Even in Africa, sports in Africa are not actually that popular. Like if you look at Africa, where all the most popular sports, football will be on top. But then you look at entertainment in general, and football or the sports is way below other forms of entertainment, which in Europe is actually a lot higher. So, and then how many people have the free time to have that entertainment as well. So Africa, I don't think Africa will ever actually be that big of a continent footballing wise because they just don't watch sport. And maybe that will change as they become more developed. But Africans just don't watch sport. And if you don't have that big fan base for a sport, take the United States, you'll never be good at it, no matter how big your population is and or any of that. Asia is what I'm more looking at. Japan football is becoming more popular again. It was always popular, dipped a bit, and now it's becoming more popular again. Other Asian countries like Uzbekistan, where football is popular, they're becoming better at it. They're getting stronger economies, which does matter. So I think Europe and South America will remain dominant, but less dominant. I think the other continents will start chipping in, but I think it will still be a dominance between Europe and South America at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think the stage is really there, mainly partly due to their volume. England tends to have good talents coming through. It's just about how they use them. Spain at the moment has got a pretty good squad, and I know we mentioned how Brazil have dropped off, but even then they've still got solid players, and if they can just find their feet in the Brazilian squad and actually perform like they do in their respective leagues, then maybe they could be a real threat too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it will always be between those two continents, like you mentioned, but a solid team just popping up from somewhere else from time to time as well is always great to see. Like Morocco going on that generational run in the World Cup semi-final. I think they got to beat some big teams on the way too.
Then they get third, or did they get fourth?
Can't remember.
I think they got third, right? Then they went to playoff round for like third place.
Speaking of generational runs, right? Obviously, you guys probably been young, right? But obviously, when Greece won the Euros in 2004, I was 4, so I'm also remember that at all. But that's when they won the Euros, right? If we won the Euros in Spain, that would have been the most Greece 2004 run of all time. Because if you actually watched us that tournament, last tournament, I generally was baffled how we're in the final. Like it was the most falling ass backwards into a hedge kind of final ever. Like I've never seen a team get so lucky in my life. Like somehow, you
also got a very lucky run, didn't you?
Yeah, the run.
You didn't play any good team
beat us. Slovakia almost beat us.
Yeah,
imagine that happened. I mean, the biggest. And to me, I'd have laughed at them as well. I'd joined in because the fact is, if we won that tournament, for me, it'd been undeserved because I know obviously it doesn't matter who wins them because if you beat a team on the day, fair enough, you deserve the trophy. But the problem is when you're playing that badly, you feel like you don't really deserve it in the first place. Whereas if you feel like you're there on merit, then you don't feel so gutted when if you lose it or win it. But it's kind of like when you kind of frauded your way to a final, it's like I don't know. I've never seen that kind of run before. Obviously, England have been to a final before, but the last Euro we've actually played in 2021, we actually deserved to be in that final.
Yeah,
and really should have won it in normal time. If we'd gone the front foot against Italy, we could have got 2 or 3 passes in the first half and won the game. But because Southgate sat back, we should have gone for the front. Because you watched the Italy team at the back, they were dodgy. I couldn't believe how Chiellini and Bonucci were shot. If we just pressed them, got 2 or 3 past them, it'd been game over and second half part of the bus. But that's the issue with England and Southgate, and how it was. We're not good.
You can't get anything over the line.
That's
none of your players, let's be honest, none of the England's players have the correct mentality for England. Harry Kane has never won a trophy. He keeps playing for England. Saka has won 1 FA Cup. He's one of England's better players. Foden, he's a very system player. Let's be honest, he's not that. He's a system player.
Right now, he
needs that.
Right now,
absolutely, he needs that system around him to give him confidence to take those shots and stuff. Because when he doesn't have that confidence, he doesn't do that, and he only has that confidence when he is in a Pep system, which he grew up with all his life through the academy and professional team. So all of these players, let's be honest, English defenders are not that good, just not that good, with the exception of Stones when he's fit, and Walker used to be good, but to be good. So English, because people talk about a super talented English team, but goalkeeper is Pickford. At the end of the day, there are how many of those players have won a trophy? Pickford, 0. Your defense, Harry Maguire. I mean, Harry Maguire is still in that defense somehow. Your left back, whoever he is, sometimes it's Shaw, sometimes it's Tierney. No, not a lot really, but he's there. None of these players win that many trophies. None of them have won a league title. You look at your midfield. Who of those players has won a Champions League title? Jude Bellingham, that recently came in. Who of those players has won a league title? Foden, who again is systematic, and Jude Bellingham, who's only recently coming in. When you talk about good players, that's one thing. But winning players, that's another. None of these players win at club level. Why do you expect them to win at international level? Now you've got a few players coming through, that have won at club level. So that's a more realistic thing to expect them to win from.
The more English players that win stuff, the better England will be, and the thing is, it's probably why a lot of people don't actually realise. A lot of England fans haven't got the mentality to win, and a lot of them have got clubs that don't actually do that kind of stuff. Whereas Spain, doesn't matter what, if you're a Bilbao fan, a Betis fan, you put the club to high account. Whereas in this country, it's all about, but you participated, it's fine. No. this culture we've got now, it's find a challenge. Now, look, at the end of the day, right? Challenging is for me the minimum requirement. Challenge. That's how it should be. Look, winning you can't guarantee because even when you play really well, you can somehow lose on the day. But the very least I want to see is a team actually challenging, because at least that way you actually know what to do next time to get better. Which is why England have had the mentality from the fans to demand more. But hopefully with Tuchel, you start seeing that change.
Yeah, big up to Oliver, by the way, always in chat. Juma Bah against Nomad Marmoush on Tuesday.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Juma Bah's been doing pretty good for RC Lens in the
good.
last couple of games.
Yeah.
I've been telling y'all, yeah. I watched him at Valladolid. I did not know he was that young. I have I've rarely seen defenders of that age be that consistent. I'm not saying he's putting in 9 out of 10 performances, but he's consistently 7 out of 10. For a 19-year-old defender, what 9-year-old defender is almost always a 7 out of 10. Now he's getting used to the French league. He might be playing good every game until the end of the season. He just has a level of consistency about him that I've never seen from such a young defender. I'm not saying he's going to be great, but if he can come into Man City, be a consistent 7 out of 10 every game off the bench and cup games, that is huge to have, isn't it?
As a good asset, someone you can always rely on in your squad. And if he keeps going the way he's going, keeps putting in these 7 out of 10s, why not? Why not have him in the squad?
You know what to expect from him.
Yeah.
And you know how to work around that too. Sometimes you need more than a 7 out of 10. And Juma Bah is young. Let's see how he develops, of course. We just need to see how he develops. We can't get too excited about him. But I do want to see him come to Man City to replace Akanji, who I think should leave. But by the way, this is a question. If we can't sell off all of our players right now, like all of the old players, do we just loan some of them out until their contract is done?
It's a good question. I mean, Calvin Phillips has been doing that since he started out, right, haven't we? But
how much longer is his contract?
Oh, he's got like 2 years, maybe.
2 more years left of his contract, apparently. Yeah. But that's the thing, though. Like, this is where we've got a lot of my mistakes going forward. We need to be signing the right player. Look, Calvin Phillips for me at the time was a good move because I thought he was a good player and it would have been good for us. But the problem is he hasn't got the mentality, which sounds harsh, but I'm sorry. The way Pep responded, right? He should respond back. So, you know what? I'm going to work hard in the gym, put myself. And you don't know. He could have been right now on the team right now to this day, being a good DM. But the problem is he didn't kick on from Leeds. I thought he would have done.
Yeah.
We also forget how good he was for Leeds. He was a good player. Like,
there are many players like that.
Him and Rafinha.
Let's take Maguire. He was really good for Leicester before he went to Man United. Yeah. Some players just can't handle pressure.
Yeah. Well, people have to forget about Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw before United was a promising 18-year-old left back that was coming through. He left too early, in my opinion, from Southampton at the time. But he was a player that should have done a lot better. But there are a lot of players like that go to certain teams that just fall off massively or get injuries and they can't come back from it. So it's kind of like, for us at the moment, we've got to make sure that obviously if a player's injured, that isn't your fault. It is what it is. Like, things like that happen can happen to anyone. But what we've got to do going forward, we've got to make sure that we bring in the right players. Because I've looked at our wage bill, right, and it's absolutely crazy how Grealish and Ballon Silva on 300k a week. How is that happening?
Rodri, if you loan them out, let's say you loan both of them out because you can't sell them. Let's be honest, you can't sell them unless they want to take a pay cut.
Next year, we'll be on a free Ballon Silva next year. On a free next year. It's like Benfica, I reckon. Benfica get them next year on a free.
But let's say you can't sell them. You have to loan them out. You still have to pay those wages. Like, maybe the other club will pay 20%, 30% of the wages. You still have to pay the other half of that wages. When you're getting in new players, you have to give them money. You have to pay them wages. What we need to stop doing, the biggest thing we need to stop doing is giving players a 5-year contract, a 4-year contract when they just join. We need to give them a 2-year contract, see how good they are, then extend. Because Calvin Phillips, how long did we give him when he first joined? I believe 4 or 5 years.
It was probably a 5-year, no one knows.
Yeah.
Why? We've never seen him play, and we give him 5 years.
It should have been 3 years. Me, like, we're contract, like, it should be like a long-term deal. Which should be like, look, like a long-term deal, right? Look, Haaland long-term deal. That's a whole different thing. And going on to that, there's comments today. Tell you what you need to know. Like, I knew anyway, but like that's like, yeah, we're all good. Like, trust me, we'll be here cooking people on the show at some point about that at some point. But contracts in general, right? Look at Chelsea. They're giving Quenda and is it some other guy? I can't remember the guy's name. Like 7-year deals. Like, I know it's meant to cut down like fees and that, but people don't understand. It's over 7 years, but there's also a player being there for 7 years at the moment. Like, look at Palmer's contract. It's like 2030.
I think it might be longer, you know.
Haaland's here until 2035. Moment.
Yeah, Cole Palmer contract till 2033.
Before Erling Haaland got that contract, he was the best striker in the world for 4 days in a row.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference from Calvin Phillips comes in 5-year contract, mate. We've never seen you play for us 5 years.
Well, Alf, even now, like, he's in a shit City team, but he's still scoring goals when he can. Like, that's not this season, right? I don't blame him at all this season. It's not his fault. He's done his best with what's been given. Give him a good team around him. He'll score the same amount of goals he got his first year again, maybe more, because he can definitely do that again.
Yeah,
I think this season, sorry to interrupt here. Tell me if you agree. This season he's been better than the treble season, and in the 4-beat season he was almost as good as the treble season, but that injury completely interrupted him.
The thing is, it's because the hat tricks kept firing in because he had the team around him at the time to get him the goals. Like this year, do you remember at the start of the season how good he was to back-to-back hat tricks? Like that, yeah. I was there at West Ham away game. I was actually there. The finishing was unbelievable. The second goal, they did the snapshot and they chipped the keeper on the run through on goal. But the guy is not done. Like, it's not his fault we're in position. It's the board and the manager for allowing the rest of the squad to rot in certain positions that have cost us where we are.
I've said this before, and I can interrupt you. I've said before, and no, listen, I love Sergio Aguero, but one thing I will always argue about is that Sergio Aguero is not as good as Man City fans say. And the reason why I bring that up, prime Sergio Aguero, put him in this team, we are not top 5. Replace Erling Haaland, put Sergio Aguero in, we are not top 5. It's simply that Erling Haaland is simply that good for us this season. He has absolutely dragged us into that top 5 bracket. He's dragged us into the Champions League. He's dragged us further there because we struggled in Champions League against teams that we should beat. We needed Erling Haaland's goals and Erling Haaland to generate space against some weaker teams there in Champions League. We were woeful. Like, remember the Salvinho goal against Club Brugge? Salvinho, why does he have so much space? Ordóñez and Mechelen are both on Haaland. That's the only reason why, because I'll tell you one thing. I've seen Salvinho enough. He's not getting past Ordóñez. He's simply not good, bro. Salvinho is simply not good enough to get past Ordóñez. Ordóñez will bully him off that ball. And when I look at this team here, I just have never seen... actually, I have. Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez is the last time I've seen a striker this good with a team this bad around him. Luis Suarez, that's what I think of when I see this team. Luis Suarez with that Liverpool team.
Aguero for me, right? I've always said before, and people think that you were being offensive there, but Aguero was a world-class striker. He was, and that's what people are arguing against that. The thing is with Aguero, right, is that the injuries from earlier on affected him massively. And I think if he didn't get injured very much, he probably would have been an even better player than he would have been.
Yeah.
Which is probably where I'd argue that I think you're right. I think in the end, when it's all said and done, Haaland will probably be the best striker we've ever had.
He already, yes. Factually speaking, because people talk about Aguero being a complete striker. Okay, Erling Haaland's passing is better. His crossing is better, statistically speaking.
He gets more. It's brilliant.
He gets more assists per game than Aguero did for Man City. People don't seem to know that. In his worst season, with an injury, he got more goals than Aguero's most goal-scoring season. He's better off the ball, like positional-wise. He's better in the air. Aguero is better with the ball in his feet. I'm not trying to disrespect Aguero.
No, you're not.
The thing is, for me, people talk about Aguero so highly because of that 93-20 goal, let's be honest.
I'm factually correct. He's brilliant at the moment, but yeah.
People talk about Aguero like he's Luis Suarez, like he's Lewandowski. Like, I love Aguero, but when Man City fans talk about Aguero in the same light as Luis Suarez, as Lewandowski, I'm just like, really?
It's not offensive though, Alf. Like, it's not, because the issue is, right, Suarez and Lewandowski didn't have many injuries as Aguero did, and that's probably why they became better players, and that's probably where the sticking point is. If we could watch a simulation of, let's say, Aguero didn't get injured in 2013 when he got injured, was it in the first game of the season? Let's say he didn't get injured that early on. What would his career have been like? I think after that, the year after, he would have scored even more goals than the year before. He probably would have been an even better player than he would have been.
I know that.
No one knows, but that's what I mean. Well, Aguero is mad, right? He's a world-class player, still a what-if player, which is crazy I'm even saying that, but factually he is. Look at Company, the same thing. Injuries. De Bruyne not so much. De Bruyne's done it and has done enough to injuries, yeah, it could have been different, but even so, he came back from injury in 2019 and kicked out and was unbelievably good for the next 2 or 3 years.
You know what I'll say about Aguero, yeah? The injuries, he was a very moment-to-moment player, Aguero. I think Aguero provided a lot of great moments. 93-20 is not the only great moment he provided, let's be honest. He provided a lot of great moments. But he was always a moment-to-moment player, and you know what that reminds me of? Ronaldo. The fattest Ronaldo, R9. So
Ronaldo. That's a disrespect to Ronaldo there, bro. Come on, man. Disrespect.
You know what I mean. But he was also a very moment-to-moment player after his knee injuries. And I think that when you have a lot of injuries young on, you do become a moment-to-moment player. He was absolutely sensational as a player. But, and maybe he would have been Lewandowski level, Suarez level. And that's just the 2 players I'm going to keep comparing him to for this week. Maybe he would have been that level if he didn't have those injuries. Problem is, he did have those injuries, and people act like he's still the player that those two are. So I'm not trying to disrespect Aguero. Like, listen, I love him, but you know why I say it? Because people compare Haaland to Aguero, and they disrespect Haaland. They're like, Aguero is better than Haaland or stuff like that, which is utterly ridiculous. And I'm not trying to disrespect Aguero again, but the reason I say it is because people like to use Aguero as a measuring stick, I suppose, for Haaland, which just doesn't make sense to me.
The thing is, I'm seeing the chat, right, and big up to him, right, but the thing is, it's not an agenda. Because at the end of the day, right, it's not. You're not saying Aguero's shit.
Yeah,
you're not saying
great.
shit.
He's
probably, for me, the best foreign striker. Haaland will be, probably in my opinion. But at the moment, if we've got trophies and goals he scored, it's Aguero at the moment in Premier League. I'm not putting Salah in that, because 2 titles does not make him the best. Salah, for me,
he's a limit.
Exactly, but a striker, for me, it's Aguero. But the thing is, right, look, I'm an Aguero big fan. I love Sergio Aguero. He's one of my favourite players of all time. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I wanted people that thought he was up there as well. And it's not offensive to say he isn't, but the problem is when you look at what they both did, right? They both went to obviously have big moves to Barcelona and Bayern and went on to do unbelievable things. I'm not saying Aguero should have done that himself, whatever. But Aguero, for me, with the injuries, he did come back and play really well. But there were times where he had seasons where he wasn't as good as he could have been, and the year after that, he came back and scored a load of goals and became good again. With Aguero, and I'll let say something about as he can say it himself. I just feel like, for me, there's times where I've genuinely wondered. I chat to people about it myself. What would have been if Aguero had got injured so much at the start of his time at City? Because I think he would have been even better than what he would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scores a ton more goals, that's for sure. On Aguero and on Haaland, I think they have their differences, but overall, Haaland for me, he's what Haaland's like he's a different nature of player in terms of growing through the academy, and no, not the academy. In terms of growing through football, a few years ago, a lot of people were saying Haaland and Mbappe is the new Ronaldo and Messi.
No, it's not.
Yeah, people aren't saying that anymore, and I don't think it is either. But that's what people were saying back then. And the reason being because of how much they were doing, and you look at Haaland's like goal record in Champions League at the moment. It's like 49 goals in 48 games. It's wild. But Aguero and his injuries, it's a shame because, like you say, he could have scored so many more goals. His goal to game ratio at the moment is ridiculous. Anyway, he's got.
It's still insane.
Yeah,
no, it's still insane. Like, Aguero's record is still there, and that's different. And being realised, right? When I was saying that, you got to listen. Don't assume this is what people do. They I don't like it. No, listen to what someone's saying, and he's not saying he's shit. I'm sure I'm saying Alf agrees with this. He has respect for Aguero of how good he was in the Premier League, and despite injuries, right, he still set so many records that are still there to this day. Haaland will probably break them at some point, but Aguero has set the bar up so high.
You know what I'll give Aguero? He has the most iconic Premier League moments ever.
Facts.
He does. Unless you consider Gerrard step more iconic. But no, the reason I want to just say it here is it's not an agenda against Aguero, and I was watching Man City before Aguero even signed for us.
Yep.
But ask a Liverpool fan, a Chelsea fan, a Man United, well, maybe not a Man United fan, ask a Bayern München fan, a fan of a big club elsewhere, what they think about Aguero. They'll say, yeah, he was good. And you can say, okay, it was injuries, sure. That probably did hamper him, but he was a generational talent, was a great player for us. But Man City fans like to hype him up. Like, that's every club does this. The way that Ousmane Dembele gets hyped up for the PSG. He's a good player, but is he as good as PSG fans say? No, he ain't. Let's be honest, he's not as good as PSG fans say he is. Cristiano Ronaldo. The way Real Madrid fans had thought that he was on the level of Messi. Let's be honest, Cristiano Ronaldo was not Messi level. Lewandowski. Again, Bayern München fans would have told you that Lewandowski was on Cristiano Ronaldo level. But he wasn't. Every club does this, where they just hype up their own players, and some of them deserve it. Like Aguero deserves to be hyped up. He's a great player. My problem is when people compare Aguero to the greatest strikers of all time, because he's not. He's a great striker, not the greatest. And I don't understand how that's controversial, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, Aguero, in terms of strikers, and at least in the Prem, he's definitely up there because of the things he's done. Like
top
you said,
five.
Yeah,
top five.
Yeah, I think he easily gets in top five. If we're talking like moments, he's obviously got arguably the most iconic moment in Premier League history. Not just because it was a last minute winner, but because of what it meant to us and in the stakes of it too, and just in general, it was just an insane moment in the Prem. Like I mentioned, goal to game output is wild. I believe Salah recently overtook him in most goals by a foreign player. Oh no, I think he's level with him now, 184.
I don't know.
But still, with the amount of the injuries Aguero had, the fact that he even got there was crazy. So there is no doubt that Aguero is unbelievable for what he did with the games he had. But yeah, he's like you quite rightly said. Everyone likes to hype up their best player. I don't think Aguero's like our best player ever. I think that is more De Bruyne area, if you ask me. But everyone likes to hype up Aguero because of the 93-20 and because of all those great goals he scored for us over the years. But yeah, on a whole, he's not the greatest striker to ever grace the world, but he deserves to be spoken of, which is how I would leave it in terms of Sergio.
Yeah, big up by the way to our titles Mike Challenges for providing us a good conversation here. But here's what I'll say on this: he was more than good. This is problem with words like good, great, world class even. People have different opinions on what that word means. For example, when I say world class, I think there are only 3 world class players in the world right now. People will tell you Saka is world class. I don't think he's world class because I have a very high bar for what world class is. My 3 world class players are Erling Haaland, Rodri, who's injured, and arguably, you right now have Jamal. That's 3. The only 3 world class players in the world right now. So when you say he was more than good, maybe for your standards he was. But when I say good, I'm putting him in top 5 Premier League strikers of all time. We need to make a tier list here of Premier League strikers of all time. At least the ones we've watched. I think we all agree Alan Shearer will be in there.
Yeah.
I mean, we've not watched him, but he's in there. He's the top scorer of all time.
He's got to be in there.
Nope.
Top
5 strikers of all time, Premier League.
Yeah, no, he's in there. I'm going to put Haaland there now as well because look, it's going to sound crazy
because he's only just here, but he's already scored that much.
He will be in the next couple of years. He will be in that. The thing is, right, Shearer, I'm sorry, right, his record's going to go. Haaland's going to get that record. I mean, is he on? Is it 80 odd goals now in the Premier League now?
I think it's more like 90.
I think if he gets 40 goals I'm not saying he's going to get 40, but if he gets 40 goals this season, he actually gets to 100 already. Which is ridiculous because the reason I bring that up is because if he had a better team, he could have gotten a 40. If we had a better team around him, he could have gotten 40, I think. He's not getting to 40. He's like 19 off. But I believe right now in the Premier League, because 36, 27, 21, so 48, yeah. He's currently at 78, 86 or 84. But yeah, Luke. By the way, just so you guys know, in chat and watching, chat cannot, or these 2 guys here cannot see what I pull up on chat here because it is an OBS, so they can't actually read the chats I pull up. So, Luke, Arteta has a question here for you. Why did you not take?
I'm just seeing it now. I don't know what you're on about, mate. Look, at the end of the day, right? What do you want me to do? Look, at the end of the day, right? If I question the club, that's fine, right? So what am I going to do? What, block them? Like I don't like. This is what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand, right? For me, right, about stuff like this. What do you actually expect people to do? Do you want them to sort of expect? I don't really know what you're actually asking me to do here. Or it's the club. Well, I don't even talk to the club anyway. I just commented something about Haaland. What do you want me to do exactly? I'm sorry. That just baffles me now. I don't know what I'm meant to do here. Like I'm just doing my thing. I'm not somebody advocate of people. I'm my own person.
Not sure what's happened, so I won't comment on that.
No, I don't know what personally. Look, for me, respect man, but I don't know what you want me to do. Because again, I'm sorry, right? I'm not being rude here, but the club won't probably listen to what I have to say anyway. Because at the end of the day, right, just because I've got followers doesn't mean I'm some advocate. Even Big Steve won't probably get through to the club. So I can't do anything. We can together as a fan base, we can. But me myself, I can't just. No matter what I do, right, and what I can do, I ain't gonna change anything. That's
by the way, the Twitter is not managed by Galdoon. The Twitter page is not done by Galdoon. Someone is paid to manage that Twitter page.
He's an admin.
Yeah. They quote tweeted me. So, but what does that have to do with anything?
That's it.
Right. Basically, about Haaland goals, right? So what? This is what I don't understand. Honestly, I don't know what you're asking me to do, mate. Because the reality is, right? If I say nothing again, It's the social media bit, guys. Them guys aren't involved in this. They're just running the pages.
Yeah.
Again, if it was, this is what we didn't understand. The social media guys aren't the issue here. They're not the ones, like the ones who run the fan support and that. They're not the ones that are the issue here. They're doing the best they possibly can, feeding, are told what to put out. So if I'm talking to City on Twitter, it's not I'm talking to Khaldoon Mubarak, mate. Sorry, I don't know how I have to answer this, right? I don't know how I have to say anything. I'm just going to leave it there because, again, if it was Al, if it was connected with anyone else in the community, we can't do anything, not because we don't have a say anyway.
Martin can. He's a Sheikh Mansour in disguise, as we all know, but the rest of us can't.
Look, I will keep voicing my concerns, right? But just because I put something on Twitter does not mean I'm, a club advocate. It's on social media. It's different because it's not run by the board.
Yeah, it's like a group of admins and all that.
Exactly. I know a couple of them anyway, and those guys is doing their job.
Yeah,
They're doing their job. You can't fault them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
like here's the thing: anything on social media is just not enough. If you want a manager sacked, you need to protest outside of the stadium. If you want the club to change ticket prices, you need to protest outside of the stadium. What happens on social media is not enough, to be honest.
I'm just gonna say, right? Sorry, mate. You've had a huge opportunity to do what? I'm just saying it right now, mate. If I DM them, I'll probably get a response. And look,
can you DM Man City?
Well, I can because they actually follow me. But I'll tell you this right now because people go, we can reverse to them. They won't read responses because remember they follow 47,000 people anyway as it is.
Jesus, that man's not active.
Again, I haven't got responsibility of anything. I'm just putting stuff out on Twitter. It's my page. It's what I do. Look, respect to you, mate. But no matter what, I could say whatever I want to say, mate. 894 done it. Steve's done it. Everyone has done it.
Alf would have said Haaland versus Wolf also so loud. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't, though.
Sorry, again. I've got to answer again. They quoted my tweet. They also quote other people's tweets as well, mate. If you look on the more replies thing, it's just me they quote tweeted. Everyone who's put goals in about Haaland have put.
You know what I would have said on that tweet? I would have said Albach scored again. That's what I would have said, and they would have never.
Fair enough, yeah. But I'm not like the thing's I'm not doing this. Like I'm fighting losing battle. I'm just gonna shut up now because then I can do it. But
that was Mighty Challengers is a bit of a troll sometimes. So he's a chill guy, but sometimes he can be a troll.
I respect you, bro. But if you're being real there, I'm just a guy that supports this team. Okay, just because they've got followers doesn't mean anything any different. There are people on Twitter that don't have channels on YouTube, bro. That have way more than we do combined. They don't. I don't know how to. I'm about to say, guys. I'm just going to.
Hello, by the way, Frost. Is that Fury or Furry? I think that's
Fury.
Yeah. Hello, welcome to the channel. I don't think I've seen you before. Thank you for subscribing. Man City. Luke has answered this already. City has a media team. Every club has a media team. And there's no world where the media team could bring a complaint from Twitter to Khaldoon. Absolutely, yeah.
Guys, wait, Khaldoon, you got to see this. Like, who the fuck is this guy? I'm sorry, right? It'll be funny.
How many employees does Man City have? Does anyone know? Because I've looked this up.
Quite a few people, but I find it funny. It's like, you know what? He pressures this. Let's go past Khaldoon right now. You know what? I'm changing everything up. If that happens, that'd be a great world, mate. That'd be a great world. But I ain't got capacity for that, mate.
2,200 employees. Well, I've just searched it.
Well, it's not fair if you look it up, is it? But yeah, I read the reports every year because they like post their accounts every year, and yeah, it was somewhere around 2,000. They have 2,000 employees. You think all of them have Khaldoon on speed dial? I mean, maybe they do. Maybe he's a very busy man. I knew Alf would have said something good. GOAT status. At least I'm the GOAT. Big up to Frost Fury, though, for subscribing. Why was Khaldoon sat at the table with Trump?
It's something to do with the relationship between the two countries, I believe.
Yeah, he's a politician as well, isn't he?
Yeah. I don't know much about it though.
Neither do I. Maybe he's asking Trump to get us off of the 115. Maybe that was happening.
Look, I don't know what you're on about, bro, but I haven't said anything. I haven't been rude to you, bro. I've just, like, I don't know what... The thing is, right, no matter what I say here, I just can be put in a different context. But in the day, right, I tweet out what I put out. That's it. I don't know what else to say. Look, I'm not gonna fight losing battle there. I'm just gonna do my own thing. But
yeah, I'm just gonna say that because I want to get back on subject now before we end stream. Just lay off. Like Arteta, thank you for being in all the time, but lay off Luke because it's not his fault. Yeah, but he stopped himself because he's trying to be nice, but you're getting on his nerves, isn't it? But Luke, it's not Luke's fault, right? Like he's not supposed to be telling the club how to manage itself.
I wouldn't care anyway.
Yeah, they won't care anyway. So it's not Luke's job. He's just a content creator. If he gets blocked by Man City, it's going to be Oliver. It's going to be rage baiting. If he gets blocked by Man City, he will get less followers. If he's followed by Man City, he'll get more. So, like, you have to think about that as well.
It's not a PR thing. I'll still hold the club out no matter what. I still will. I did anyway.
Yeah, but it's
I put a tweet out anyway.
no point, though, in going to the club and telling them, oh, this is shit. Because I do that a bunch. I'm blocked by, like, 2 or 3 footballers because I say, like, yo, why are you playing like shit? They don't appreciate that stuff. They just block you. They don't listen. They're like, oh, you're an asshole. They block you.
Yeah.
They're people at the end of the day. The club is made of people at the end of the day. If you just constantly call them out, they're going to just block you. They're not going to say, that's great criticism. Justice for Arteta's mighty challengers. Anyhow, moving on.
Yeah, move on.
Let's talk about Man City once more. But first, I want to complete that top 5 striker list in the Premier League. I think we'll start with Alan Shearer. Do we put him first? Or do we put someone else first?
You see, it's hard to comment on it because I know at least me, I came way after Shearer's time in the league. All I can really look back on is a couple of screamers he scored and his goal record. So I think he obviously gets in that top 5. It just depends on whether you think his goal record alone. He's won a couple of league titles, right?
One league title.
So it just depends, like, how highly, because it's mainly his goal record that's obviously bringing him in, and
because none of us have watched him. You haven't watched him, right, Lou? You're not that old.
I'm 24, 25 this year. I'll be honest with you. His career ended in 2006, and I've been like the right end of it, and I don't remember Alan Shearer, so no, it was just before my time as well.
We'll just put him in first because he has like the most goals, but that's like the only reason. Yeah. Just to put him there because people will be offended to everything but first. And I'll put Haaland 5th, and you guys tell me if you agree with this. Because I think Haaland is already better than anyone else we'll talk about, but he's only been here for 2.5, like on to 3 seasons. So I think it's a bit early to put him like a 2nd or 1st, but I'll put him 5th. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Yeah, I'll go with that as well.
Then 2nd, 3rd, 4th is a difficult one. I would go for, in no particular order, Rooney, Aguero, and the 3rd one, I think Harry Kane, but I'm not sure. What should you guys go for?
Get Drogba in.
You can put Drogba in.
For me, Shearer top, 2nd is Henry a striker or is he a winger? What was Henry?
I think he's a winger, but again, he's before my time.
Right, winger. Okay. Okay, so I'll go Shearer, Aguero 2nd. Because I'm not putting Suarez next. It wasn't long enough to be in it anyway. I know he was good for Liverpool, but I can't put him in top 5 because it wasn't long enough.
Yeah.
3rd, I will go with. I'm Harry Kane. Didn't win anything, but he scored the second amount of goals. You can't.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Right, is Rooney a striker?
He played
Yes.
here, there, everywhere, didn't he?
Yeah. Okay.
Because you know what thing is though, Rooney never played in the same position. One
That's what
game
I
he was
mean.
striker, one thing. But
Hard one.
do we all agree that Rooney is considered a striker? Like, do you consider Rooney a striker or not?
If he's a striker, it will be Shearer, Rooney, Aguero, Kane, Haaland. Which sounds like I'm missing out. It's very, very recency bias, which is probably fair enough. So Drogba, but the thing is, Drogba got 100 and something goals, if that. Like,
Drogba has decent. Drogba has a decent few goals, but my problem with Drogba is he's a big moments guy. He's got a lot of big moments, but he like doing it against the small teams doesn't matter. Like people don't respect how important it is to get those stat padding goals. To like score 3 goals, like a hat trick once in a while. To score like a goal against this shit team, because people are like, oh, he only scores against shit teams. Well, that's why the club wins against these shit teams, because someone scored against them. So Drogba for me, he's got all these big moments, but he doesn't have the consistency. Like look at Havertz. Guy Havertz has a lot of big moments. He scored against us in Champions League final. He scored against us again.
Don't remember that game. No, Rodri, no. War flashbacks. Like Rodri on the bench.
So, players who have like big moments aren't necessarily great players. Like, you have to have big moments and you have to have consistency and combine that, right? So Haaland, the reason why he's not first is because he doesn't have the great moments yet. But well, he has a few great moments, but not like as many. For like Drogba, he has the great moments, but he doesn't have the consistency. So I will not put Drogba in there, but I do understand why you would put him in there. So do you both put Drogba in? Because if you do, then we'll put him fourth. Or do you put someone else in?
So is it him or Harry Kane we're looking at right now?
We're looking at Rooney, Aguero, Drogba, and Kane. One of those 4 has to go out.
I think Aguero and Rooney are in, aren't they?
The thing is with Kane, if he had won a trophy, not as well, even a league with Tottenham, it would have been definitely 100% in this position. But the problem is, he won nothing at Tottenham.
He's got no medal.
Literally nothing.
He's won nothing yet. He will win the Tottenham this year. He will with Brighton, 100% he will. But it's kind of like, for me, Drogba at least won stuff, but it wasn't. It should be Drogba. It's a hard one because the thing is, if Drogba goes in, that's fine, but he didn't get as many goals as he could have done. So it's a hard one, this.
Yeah, it's a very tough one, isn't it? What others, like, there's not really any other strikers that deserve in that competition.
There's Roy. He was good.
But that good? He wasn't that good.
There's Michael Owen. He was decent.
Yeah, Michael Owen. But I didn't watch Michael Owen, so... Like, I watched a bit, but, like, at the end of his career.
There's Jermaine Defoe. Jermaine Defoe was decent, but Jermaine Defoe didn't win... Did he win the title at all? Did he? Defoe?
I think he did.
No, it was Tottenham and Pompey. No, he wouldn't have done.
He was at Tottenham for a good chunk of time.
Yeah.
So no trophies, no titles. Defoe.
I thought he wanted to kind of back up with them.
It's Andy Cole, but Andy Cole's a weird one because he was a good player as well.
He wanted to kind of back up with Tottenham.
Yeah.
I know, Paul.
See, Andy Cole should be a competition as well, but Andy Cole was more of a United, wasn't it, than Newcastle. That's the thing. And I don't know. It's a hard one, this. A hard one.
I think we have Aguero. I think it's Aguero and Rooney locked in, so right?
Huh?
It's we have guaranteed. What's his name? Fuck, I forgot his name. I said it only like 5 seconds ago. How did I forget on?
Oh, by the way, McAtee scored for England 21s.
Yay!
Even though it's not in 21 anymore.
Market value going up.
Yes, more money in the summer.
Yeah.
Can't trade him for the words.
Show me the money.
Oh, England
50
have scored
million
as
plus
well.
McAtee for the words. Great deal, guys.
What's that?
England have scored. From what I'm looking at.
Have they? Who scored for England?
I'm not sure. I think it's literally just happened. I'll try and find out.
Oh, Lewis Skelly.
There you go.
Lewis Skelly scores the first goal of the Tuchel era. Of all the players that scored the goal, it's Miles Lewis Skelly. Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, so
I've seen enough. I've seen enough. It's coming up now. I'm not saying that.
so
This is
Shearer. So I think we have guaranteed Shearer, we have guaranteed Aguero second, and Rooney third. That's our top three, right?
Yeah.
Shearer first, Aguero second, Rooney third.
Yeah, I can go with that. And then Haaland fifth.
Or do we put Rooney second and Aguero third? What do you say?
I think right for me, Shearer, Rooney, Aguero. If we're being genuine. Look, I know we don't want to say this, but we've got to be realistic about the goals and the trophies of carrying out one play.
Yeah.
Aguero won a lot of trophies for City, he has, but we got to be realistic about this. Rooney won more, so we got to be. So, I think so. Is that confirmed he won more than us? Rooney, I'm pretty sure he did. Is that confirmed?
Yeah, he won a Champions League, a Europa League.
Yeah.
He won 5 titles. Aguero won 4.
I'll go with Shearer, Rooney, Aguero, Harry Kane, Haaland.
Yeah, I think I'll go with that as well.
Yeah.
Closer between him and Drogba.
It's a hard one between Kane and Drogba, but Kane got a lot of goals, and I do feel sorry for him in a way because he's he's playing for like United or even like Chelsea.
Well, maybe not for United.
Chelsea definitely.
If he played for Chelsea, he would have won trophies.
He almost,
to be honest.
well, I don't know if it was almost, but I remember when we were going for him in 2021. The summer Grealish joined.
Yeah.
Going for Kane. And obviously, I think Levy.
Do you think Kane regrets that? Not coming to Man City.
Yeah.
Also, I'm happy we didn't get him, too. I'm kind of happy we didn't get him.
Probably meant we wouldn't have gotten Haaland, so...
Yeah. Connect comes across so respectful on these shows. What a boy. Connect, you are the calmest YouTuber. Big up to Connect.
Thank you.
Lucas the villain, says Oliver to that.
Oh, great. Well, in the words of, what's his name? In the Batman film, he lost to become the villain, something like that. Fine with me.
Yeah, he's joking, by the way.
I know he is, but I don't care at this point. It's fine.
I became a City fan when they won Champions League, so I didn't see Aguero either. Real Madrid. Don't take Oliver too seriously. He likes to joke as well.
I just put the game on. I think Foden's playing well.
Lying.
Against Albania.
Nice.
He's found his level, guys. He's found his level.
Yeah.
Vardy.
He's back.
Vardy.
One day Albania was back. Falling off.
Jamie Vardy ahead of Kane.
Vardy, good point.
Ooh,
Because Vardy's still banging goals still for a shit less team as well.
that's a spanner in the works.
Mate,
Vardy,
was
think about
39.
this. Yeah? Think about this. Vardy got promoted or won the championship, won Premier League, won FA Cup, won Community Shield. If you count that, I don't, but he won it. Got relegated again, got promoted again, and will get relegated again, all before Arsenal win a league title. All before Man United will win a league title, for the matter of fact.
Oh, Vardy.
Honestly, just because I don't like Harry Kane, I'll put Vardy in there.
To be fair, Jamie Vardy, right? I'll give credit where it's due, right? He's 39 years old, what match, and scores at 9 goals this year for Leicester, despite Leicester being so poor.
Yeah.
That is like, it's mad. Like, if you watched him, his pace is still there. 39, it's still the pace is still there for someone who's 39.
You know what it is though with Vardy? When I watch him now, which isn't a lot to be fair. I've not watched him a lot, but when I do watch him, I feel like it's kind of like De Bruyne. He like plays good for 20 minutes, then he's gone. He's not on the pitch anymore. That's kind of what I feel like with Vardy now. Which just shows that the level is still there, but the energy maybe not.
Yeah.
Well, I've got people that I know. Now I'm not. This isn't here we go confirmation, but people that I've seen that I follow that are quite big following are talking about Man City being cleared apparently. Which look again before I carry on talking, this is not confirmed, but
It's confirmed.
If we're being genuinely realistic here, we're fine. Because the thing is, right? If we're not, I have to ask questions here, of everyone here, because if we were guilty, right? I guarantee you, right? I know it's official legal stuff, right? But but it would leak somehow. It would have been leaked if we were guilty. So,
that stuff doesn't leak that easily, though, because you're forced to sign an NDA if you're in that. So, if you it can be leaked. But your career is done if you do that. So nobody will do that. People don't care enough about football to ruin their livelihood for it. Let's be honest.
Especially in a case of this volume.
Yeah, especially when a lot of these people aren't really football fans. Like a lot of people in court aren't football fans, isn't it? Like I know the judges, like some of them, they pick judges who obviously know about football, but like average workers within the court, they don't really care about football. They're just there to do the paperwork and stuff. So they're the most likely people to leak that stuff. They don't watch football. They're not going to ruin their career over that.
Oh, by the way, before we carry on, that's right. We haven't debriefed the season at all. It's been shit. There you go, done.
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah, you know what I do at these streams? I make a title.
You really do it every time. Waffle merchant. Waffle.
I post the title. I always try to talk about something else first, just to get the conversation flowing. And then I'm like, okay, then we'll go to the title. We never go to the title, do we?
No, we don't. Until now. Shit.
England 21-0.
I don't know what else to say at this point. Like it's been absolutely terrible.
We've talked about it all season, haven't we?
Look, FA Cup, right? If we win it, it doesn't save it, but it makes it a lot better than what it could have been if we don't win it. But I'm not going to sit here and think, it covers it up. It won't cover it up at all. No one fan will let that happen because I think we all know it's been terrible. So for me, it's like, well, if you can get me fourth or third somehow from Forest, somehow out of nowhere, and an FA Cup, I'll take it and move on. Because I think for me, like, this has been a painful. I know we've had worse season than this. I'm not saying we haven't. Obviously, before we were born as well, we were a mid-table team. But back then, it was where we were at the time. We were there for a reason. We weren't good, and if you got high mid-table, it was a good season for us. But for our recent levels, it's been a terrible season. Probably one of the worst since takeover, in my opinion.
Absolutely. We've just been off the paces not even all season. At the early part of the season, we started good, but you know what it is, yeah? Old players, like De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Kovacic even, like, they're not bad. They just don't have the legs anymore. Bernardo Silva, he needs to pass the ball for it, but they just don't have the legs anymore. So they can start a season decently enough. That the season goes on, they get tired, the performances get worse and worse. Now, the January window did help with that a bit, but I feel like if Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne were just 1 year younger, we could have actually been comfortably top 4 this season. Not saying we would have won the title, but we would have been comfortably top 4 if those two were just 1 year younger, I think. And that's the annoying part about the season, yeah? This season, we did not start it poorly. We knew what the problems were in the window. The club just didn't decide to address it. And we've got progressively worse until January. Right at December, with those easy fixtures, we did get a few decent results. But then we get those those YouTubers I'm reading from the comments here, those footballers in January, new bodies, but it's still not great. It's still not great, and I feel like all season, what I've seen from just Man City fan base is scapegoating. It's Pep's fault. I say that myself, but it's not just Pep's fault. I see people. It's all Pep's fault. Some of it, most of it is on Pep even. It's not all Pep's fault. It's all De Bruyne's fault because he fell off. It's all the fault because Rodri isn't here. Like,
Everyone.
all,
It's a collective.
yeah.
It's the whole club.
You can't pin everything on one person. Like I saw people going off on Doku again. Listen, I'm not a big Doku fan. Everyone knows that. But Doku should have probably played more this season. Like I know he had that injury, but if Doku played a bit more this season, we might have had a few more draws where he lost or a win where we instead of drew. So you can't pin everything on single players. The club just is terrible at the moment. So one thing I talked with Matthijs about Monday, I believe we did that stream. I can't actually remember. But one thing I talked about with Matthijs in that 4-hour stream, big up to Matthijs and I. We know how to drag out a conversation. You know what's funny, by the way? We were about to end that conversation there after like 2 hours, and then you came on, and then we continued for another 2 hours.
No. That was my fault. Should have done that.
No. I asked Matthijs, he wanted you to come on, so big up to you. But yeah, during that conversation, we talked about Pep Guardiola staying at Man City for the wrong reasons. He's not at Man City because he wants to continue to win things, but because he thinks, I don't want to leave Man City in this state. I want to leave Man City in a healthy state. But that's the wrong reason to stay because you'll have the wrong mentality. If he's worried about how Man City will be when he leaves, just leave. Just leave because we'll figure it out. If he's actually here to win things, okay, get the summit, get rest, give Viana the keys. Like, honestly, trust Viana and get your mind sorted out. Get rest in the summit, mentally. Then come back, have your new squad, work with them in pre-season, the little pre-season we will have, and go for it. That is what I'm looking for here next season, really.
Yeah. That's what I want. Look, all I want, and I'm talking about the same, I just want to get us back to levels next year. I'm not even asking to win anything next year. I just want us to get back to enjoy football again. Because look, at the end of the day, right, we all want to win stuff. All want to win stuff. It's part of football. You want to win trophies, right? But you've got to actually play good football and playing well to do it. And if we can get back to the level where we're enjoying football again, and we're looking forward to games again as fans, then that's great. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Full time, by the way, between Italy's under 21s and the Netherlands. It's 1-2 to the Netherlands. Those anyone what under 21s is it? Is it like under 21s Euros or is it like what is this under 21s?
I think it might just be a friendly. I know the England ones are friendly.
Oh yeah, it's just a friendly. I thought it was like some tournaments, but yeah, it's just friendlies. Luke is the definition of cold. He's so cold that your fingers will get frostbite and fall off as soon as you touch him.
Okay. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but okay.
Cold, like Cole Palmer. Cole Alfred.
Cole Palmer's stocks have dropped recently.
Yeah, Cole Palmer without penalties, you know.
Yeah, Paul Palmer.
You know what it is, yeah. Cole Palmer scores a goal. Oh man, City must regret letting him go. Cole Palmer is playing shit. Nobody talks about him.
No, I like Palmer, but he's not the player. He's a good player in a very, very average Chelsea team.
Yeah.
But that's where it ends there. He's not a world-class player. World-class has been used far too much on certain players and needs to be reserved for certain players.
Absolutely. Like, I think the certain world class is just used. Like, there's an expectation that at least X amount of players are world class. Like, when people talk about the best players in the world, people are like, well, they have to be at least 11 world class players, right? Because, and I always talk about goalkeeper separately. But generally speaking, there aren't 11 world-class players right now. People talk about world-class centre-backs. What centre-back in the world is right now world-class? I don't tell me Kusanov. He's been good, but he's been hit for 2 months.
Yeah, and he's still young. He's got time to hit those levels.
Ruben Diaz hasn't been added this season. Stones is in the clinic. He doesn't even play football anymore. He plays Hospital Simulator. So
yeah, I think a lot of people use world class on really good players. Like there are some great players out there, like Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer's a pretty good player, but I don't think he's a world class player. World class is like your Lionel Messi, because they're a class above the rest. That's what world class is in my eyes, and it's for a very specific group of people that do just incredible, phenomenal things on a consistent basis.
But at least 2 seasons, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For me, Phil Foden isn't world class. I'll say, and this might sound like I'm disrespecting him, but if we're being generally realistic here, Foden's had a world class season, but it doesn't mean you're a world class player. It's not like I'm being stupid there. I get it, but you've got to be doing it every year, not just one great year and then next year you fall off. Now this year, but because of things behind the scenes, it is fair enough, but you need to be doing it on a yearly basis.
Yeah, that's also the thing for me. Take Salvinho. Last season he was great at Girona, and I actually watched La Liga, so I can actually say that. Good. This season at Man City, he's not been bad, but he's not been great, and
he's been good. He's been good.
He's been decent
for a shit City team this year, and a better City team probably got more goals, more assists.
Finishing needs to be better. Yeah. Finishing does need to be better.
Next year, he'll be a better player. He will be. I think, for me, I've seen enough of him to say, look, there's a player in there. We've seen it. The problem is, he's playing in a team right now that's completely useless going forward. I mean, unless you get a penalty and we get a player to run forward and smash it in from outside the box, then we haven't got anyone that actually... I mean, you watched it against Brighton. We're creating chances, but it's not exactly clear-cut chances that are on.
It's half a chance.
Exactly. It's not. Yeah. It ain't great. It ain't great right now. It ain't great.
Yeah. So for the panel here, and we all have to answer separately. Top 5 worst games this season. In your own opinion, I guess I'll go first here, because I think it's actually quite easy. Number 1, Feyenoord. Number the 3-0 where we went to 3-3. Number 2, Man United, because we lost to Man United when we were winning until 86 minutes, 87 minutes.
Home as well.
We were winning until the 87 minutes, I believe. Third is Tottenham, also at home. That also at home, right? Because we won 2-0 at White Hart Lane. Fourth game, I'm not sure, but I want to go with Everton, because at the time Everton wasn't really playing well when we drew them, but Everton have actually started to go on form, so I'm not sure if I'll put Everton in there.
They're doing well. Everton doing well right now.
Got to get Madrid at the Etihad in there.
Oh my!
Yeah. Madrid at the Etihad, and then fifth. There's so many bad games; it's difficult to pick one out.
The buffet of losses that we've had. Take your pick.
Have a look.
Honestly, Arsenal 5-1. Arsenal 5-1.
Right. This is generally. I'll be real here, right? Final didn't surprise me at all. I'm not putting that one. I'm putting number 1. I'm putting the 5-1, because genuinely, I've never seen a team capitulate in my life like that. You go out to 1-1 away from home to a rival, and you then shit the bed in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Generational levels, by the way.
I've never seen a team, a City team, by the way, a good City team, by the way, to a high level standard, do that. That for me was a real okay, this is completely and utterly awful. So 1, fight the 5-1 loss. 2, Tottenham 4-0 at home. That was genuinely the biggest, genuinely oh my god, it's worse than I thought it was going to be. We all thought the Brighton Bournemouth Sporting games were just a really, really terrible blip.
Yeah.
Tottenham game was like you actually shit this season, mate.
Yeah.
Okay. 3-3. It was generally that bad. It was utterly Edison. Fourth, Madrid 3-2 at home. Edison again.
Yeah.
And fifth, you know what? There's been some terrible ones, right? And I've seen some bad games this season, right? But Juventus 2-0 away was absolutely shocking. I've never seen a team in all my life go away to a average Juventus team. Average. They're very average, mate. We should be beating Juventus. And they should have won by more than 2 past us. So, yeah, that's my top 5. Go correct.
Right, for me now. I'm starting at the top in a similar fashion with Arsenal 5-1 for similar reasons. Like, I've just again getting to the first half, we weren't awful. We were losing 1-0, okay, but it wasn't terrible. And you could definitely see us losing the game, but there was a chance of maybe getting a draw and even a slimmer chance of getting the win. But we were still in it was the main thing. Of course, Ruben Diaz, I believe, came off at half time to memory. But even if that was the case, we shouldn't capitulate like that. Get to 1-1, decent start. I think we got the equaliser like 10 minutes in to the second half. And then just horrific. Just absolutely awful from that point onwards. Heads all dropped after Partey smacked it in completely, and they just started banging them in from there on. So I'll go for that for number 1. Number 2, because of the occasion, I'm going for the derby. Winning 88th minute is when Bruno slotted that pen. Nunes, it's a horrific challenge. No City fan could complain with that penalty. He's completely missed the ball. He's just taken Diallo out. He completely misses it. Bruno scores. At that point, you can maybe at least hold on for the draw at the minimum. Okay, minimum. Okay.
But let's be honest. All of us knew what was going to happen once it went 1-1.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no. I watched the game and I said we'll lose this game 2-1. I saw the goal. I thought, is this the goal covered up a lot of cracks? If we won the game 1-0, I'll be like, no, I'm not celebrating that. Even if it's a derby, like genuinely, that should have ended 0-0. Both teams were trash. I've never seen a derby that worse in my life, and there was a bad ones, but that was genuinely disgraceful. Now, anyone top 5 because I knew it was coming.
What about Salford? The Salford derby.
I mean, the 8-0 win was just okay. 8-0. Like I'm sorry. I know it's an 8-0 win, but if being generally serious, it's a League 2 team.
Yeah.
I can't be overdoing it. Like Orient, we got away with it. Orient
Absolutely.
could be. This is how bad it's been this season. Like even recently, we've gotten better. Well, mate, the stands on the floor. So of course it's going to get better. But I'm not being funny here, right? But I've got to see genuine improvement across the board before I start thinking about challenging for anything next year. Like I've got to see a mentality shift. Not necessarily. Look, obviously playing better, we can play better with better players, of course. But I can't just trust that it will turn around because in football, everything can happen in football.
Yeah.
So we've got to get it right in the summer to turn it around.
Anyhow, continue with your list connect.
Yeah. It was so bad because, like you said, after that first one went in, you knew how the game was going to end. We were not getting any points, and the fashion we did it in as well. The defending was all over the shop. Diallo rounds our keeper, and it's tapped in. For third, I'm gonna go for the Tottenham 4-0 now. Not just because it was 4-0 at home, but also because that was our first home loss since 2022 November. Against Brentford. And absolutely, at that point, like you said, awful blip is what you were thinking for the previous games, okay? But we've had bad blips in seasons before and we've gone on to win the league. And I think that was partly what City fans were kind of feeling at that time. Like you said, though, after that Tottenham game, it it was the first of many eye openers this season. And like, okay, I see how the season is going, and just 4-0 at home, breaking that record, which is a solid record, undefeated at home in just under 2 years, I think, which isn't bad at all. And we just completely lost it there. Didn't even look like we wanted to try. Fourth, think I'll now go for Feyenoord, because after they scored, I think in the 75th minute, I just felt like we weren't going to win. I felt like there was too much time for them to get a win. We'd already made our subs as well. The typical subs we'll make at the end of the game, but made them a bit extra early. You know, McAtee was already on the field, and at that time, McAtee was getting no minutes, as opposed to how now he's getting a little bit more. But yeah, we'd made our reserved subs, took off multiple solid players, and just completely lost it from there. Probably one of the worst goalkeeping performances I've ever seen.
Well, I won't go that drastic. We've seen De Gea in the FA Cup final.
For Edson,
there you go. Fun. I was there. I was like, "What on earth are you doing?" I was like, "What?"
No, it's funny. Ortega in 2024 was terrible in the FA Cup final, and 2023 it was De Gea who was terrible, because the second goal he should have stopped De Gea.
This year, if it's us the final again, don't do it again. Don't do it again. Well, no, by the way, because Bournemouth are better than us right now.
Yeah. Final place, like you said before. Take your pick. Oh my god, there's so many.
By the way,
haven't picked Madrid yet.
Arteta's Mighty Challengers is asking if no one is going to pick Aston Villa.
Nah, there's worse games than that. I mean, Villa was more of a genuine, just no one gave a fuck, really. And
yeah,
I think we all knew we were losing that game, and the players did as well. I mean, it wasn't great. It was shit still, but I'm not. There have been worse games than that have generally angered me.
You know what I'm noticing, yeah? We're picking all the games from the start of that bad period, and it's like recent games now, because that middle period, we just knew we were going to lose. So it almost didn't affect us as much. Like now after the window, we expect to win.
I'd argue Brentford away was worse than Villa away, because we were 2-0 up at Brentford and we threw it away.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely.
If we had won that game, we probably would have gone on a good run then, probably. But it just brought momentum out the window, because again, the players under pressure can't handle it. Whereas in the past, we were like 2-0, 3-0, done, part of the bus, whatever, cool, leave. But we knew, I thought, it ain't done yet. I knew it wasn't done. Because this team, there have been draws this year that I'm like, how we drew that game?
Yeah.
Far too many.
So, your fifth choice was Real Madrid, you said?
Yeah, it's got to be the Real Madrid 3-2 loss. You know, considering we weren't brilliant that game anyway, but it felt like a game that we were grinding out. You know, Haaland didn't get much service, and he still bagged a brace, despite one of them being a pen. You know, he still bagged a brace, and with less than 10 minutes on normal time, you know, you just need to hold on. You know, don't play silly ball. You know, and then what do we go and do? Edison does probably it was a goal kick. I can't remember. One of the worst kicks I've seen.
I
from
think
Edison.
it was open play, wasn't it?
Oh, either way, one of the worst kicks I've seen from Edison. Horrific, and just gives Real Madrid the keys to a big opportunity. And then the second goal, the third goal of the game for Madrid. Now, and a lot of people go at Edison with this as well. I don't think he does great, but that pass from Kovacic is unreal. I don't know what he's doing. If he pulls it off, unreal in a bad way. If he pulls it off, fair play, unbelievable pass. But what are you doing? I don't even know what to call it. You know, it's a ridiculous attempt in the 92nd minute as well. Just hoof it at that point. Get it out.
Trying to scorpion kick past it.
It was awful. And to Rico Lewis as well. And if Kovacic got any awareness of the game, he's playing it to Rico, and Rico's not bad with the ball at his feet. But Vinicius Jr. is gonna pounce onto that.
And then Edison being an absolute fucking moron. I'm sorry, I don't care. Edison, right? For sorry, being been great, but his head's not here anymore. I want him gone summer because if you want to be here, I want us to be here. It's that we can't be doing this for another year. If he wants to go, sell him on.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if he doesn't want to go, but that is my challenge assessment about the Aston Villa game, that we didn't try in that game, which is true. But we didn't try in that entire period. We didn't try. I feel like Aston Villa was closer, and deservedly so even, than all the bad games we've had. And that's why we talk about it a bit more, but we haven't tried in that entire bad period. Players haven't tried in that bad period. Players are trying again now, which is why we're improving a bit and stuff, but I think the Aston Villa game was horrendous, by the way, but I think there have been worse games.
Yeah. It just shows how bad the season's been.
And this is the thing, right? We're not even done yet. We're not even done yet. It could be worse losses coming. I bet it's not. I bet we have to get a bit of like a nice end season, but this club doesn't guarantee that.
Immediately after the international break, we played the FA Cup game against Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium.
Please don't lose that game badly. Oh.
We need to win there. Not just because it's the FA Cup, but it's also a chance for just to almost set off on the right foot. Last thing you want straight off the back of an international break, whether you've played good for your country or not, last thing you want is to go and then lose in the FA Cup. Fans will be on your back at that point, because that means this season is truly, not that it hasn't been, but it is unsalvageable now. And considering top four is not well and truly sealed, and we got some difficult games coming up.
Yeah,
you can't lose that game. You've got to get it right from the get-go against Bournemouth.
That derby game, if we lose that again, and honestly, 3 in a row lost to that United team, I'm going to have to ask serious questions about the entire team, because the mentality is a derby. You owe us a derby win. You owe us one. But you have to go to Old Trafford to get a result. I don't care how well United play. Step up.
Yeah.
We need to win out there.
FA Cup final loss to Preston.
Oh, that would be just like typical. Like, what? End the club. Not in the season. End the club. Start again. League 2.
If Ederson goes, who do we get? Because Arteta's talking about Diogo Costa. I don't think any of us are interested in Diogo Costa. So
I want Chevalier. That's what I want. I want Chevalier.
Yeah, same here, Chevalier.
He looks good.
Chevalier or McNaught, but.
Oh, I like. Is it Karaseki? He's not a bad keeper. I like him.
He's not bad level. He's not bad level, I think. If Ortega leaves, he can come in a second. But
yeah.
Vitality is winning 13-6, by the way. Not a football team. That's something else.
Half time, England winning 1-0. Apparently we're playing well, but apparently it's boring as well. I don't know. People are saying mixed things about England right now. I'm not watching it, so I have to turn it off. So the thing is, you aren't going to change England overnight. You're not. It's going to take a number of months to turn Southgate's boring football off. So, yeah.
By the way, Navi won 2-0 yesterday. Dusselt. Navi winning another trophy after the terrible end of the year we had last year. But I've been going insane, bro. All my teams starting to shit, bro. All my teams starting to shit at the same time, bro. Navi, if you watch esports, Navi has started to shit recently. We were winning all the trophies, Navi. Then we go to the major. The major is like the equivalent of the World Cup. We turn into shit, bro. We turn into shit. And since then, we've not done anything. But now we're starting to play good again. So let's hope we win our trophy. But yeah.
But genuinely, we actually need a 300 keepers in the summer. Because I mean, if you look at it, right, Edison's
how many
gone.
keepers did you say?
3. Because look, Edison's going to go in the summer. That's kind of obvious at this point. Ortega might go. Because let's be honest, he ain't number 1 for me. He hasn't proven it enough to be number 1 this year. And Carson's 40 years old. How long is Carson going to be here for? What? If
Carson goes, we just get Trafford, right?
or Spike Brits, or bring a third choice in, or something like that, or someone, or what you could do, right? I mean, I wouldn't mind if Hart wanted to do it. I'd love to be Hart in as a goalkeeper coach. I mean, I'm pretty cool if you want to do it, but I don't know what
How
happened.
old is Joe Hart now, by the way?
Is he his 40s now?
It's probably early 30s.
37.
There you go. Yeah.
It will be 3 losses in a row against them. Wait, who are you talking about? 3 losses in a row.
Yeah.
Against...
United?
No, we won against them in the Community Shield.
Oh.
I guess if you're not counting that, then yes, because FA Cup final, yeah.
No, I don't. I think we need 3. I think in the summer at least 2 keepers definitely, because Ortega won't be number 2 next year again. He want to move on. I don't blame him.
He want to be number 1 somewhere.
I think it needs to be. I think for me, if I'm being real, the priority should be getting a new keeper in straight away. New keeper sorted out first, because that's going to be the way you build from. And after that, you get obviously fullbacks in the midfield. But we need to get a keeper in there for the summer.
Yeah, I said this on my stream. I spoke about Lucas Chevalier. I did one the other day. We can't buy Lucas Chevalier after we sell Edison and Ortega, because then because I think Lille, if we sell both our keepers and then we go to negotiate with Lille for their keeper, they're gonna be like, you guys need a goalkeeper, so you better pay a bit more money than you usually want to. So we need to bring them in before we sell both of them. At least after we sell one.
I think you can keep Ortega as a second. I think Ortega. Now I'm not saying we will, but I think you can keep him as a second. I think Ortega will be fine with that, because he's been on second since he came to Man City. He's loved at Man City. Let's be honest. Like, remember last season, at the end of the season, when we went to left the title. You remember why Ederson wanted to leave? Because people cheered loudly at Ortega's name. He enjoys being at this club, I think. Maybe this season a bit less, but I think if you talk to him, say, listen, you'll be second goalkeeper again. You'll get the cups again. You'll get the old game again in the Premier League and in Champions League. So stay. We really need you to stay here for one more season.
Yeah.
We've done you a favor here. We've helped you win a Champions League. We've helped you win 2 league titles. Do us a favor now. Stay one more game. I think you can get him to stay like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know him personally, obviously, but I think we can get Ortega to stay for just one more season as second option, and I'm fine with that. Are you two fine with that?
I mean, if he wants to have that, but he's made it clear previously that he said that he wants to be Man City's number 1. I don't think that happens as long as Edison's at the club, and I feel like if we lose Edison and we spend about 50 million on another goalkeeper, I think it's kind of crazy if we have a 50 million goalkeeper on the bench. So
yeah, but realistically speaking, though, he said all of that before this season, or midway through this season when Edison was playing poorly. Will he be mad? Will he not be humbled?
If it's one more year, I'm fine with it. But it's not. I think long term, we'll need number 2 at some point.
Oh
yeah.
So if it's one more year, I'm cool with it. But
we're talking about just one more year, and then we sell him.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine 1 more year, definitely. But if he goes, then we'll have to get 2 more in, and then call it Spike Brits to be third choice. That's what I do.
From Arteta, by the way, Connect, give yourself a pat on the back. You seem very young, but very respectful on these shows. Big up. I'll be serious here. Panel, if this club make Ortega number 1, yes, we will be fuming if Ortega is number 1.
You will hear about it.
He's okay for second, but not for number 1.
Yeah.
Chelsea's Club World Club opponents, Club Lyon, removed from the tournament. Oh.
Assist from McAtee.
Do you guys know about this? Club Lyon was removed from the Club World Cup.
Hold on, I'll look.
Big up, by the way, to Lovey Talks Football. Thank you for subscribing. Lyon removed from Club World Cup.
Yeah, they have been. Oh, wow.
So who's replacing them, if anyone?
I'll look, hold on.
I know who. Al Mustard.
So they failed to meet tournament regulations on micro ownership, basically.
Mm.
So
Al Nassr
basically,
coming in.
it's them and another team, Pachuca, have been found as well.
Yeah.
Leon have appealed, so it could
You can have
change.
Al Nassr and Santos now.
And then into Miami. Oh, Messi, Ronaldo, one last shot. Who cares? No, they're both old men now. Like, you can't keep milking it anymore. No one cares anymore. Like, they're both they're both good players, man. They're not washed. They're still brilliant players, but they're not.
Honestly, put Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo together right now in our European team, they'll still get like 20 goals.
They will, because they're both still good players. Like, I mean, pace is gone, but they're still goals, definitely.
Like some players are just they can leave football whenever they want. Ronaldo is just going to keep going until he gets 1,000, and then he's like bye bye.
I mean,
all of mine are
and they're still playing football. Like, it genuinely, the thing is, Messi's still playing for Argentina. Ronaldo's still playing for Portugal, and they've got Modric at 39 still playing for Croatia. These guys were done until they're done. I mean, Cruz really should be playing still. Although he's not playing still, he's still good.
But he retired because he wants more time for his family.
But I'm saying, as a player, he was still good enough to be playing at a high level still. But yeah, I get it though. It's mad though, isn't it? It's mad how if Kevin De Bruyne didn't have injuries, he's still be playing at a high level still right now, easily.
Absolutely, like the 3 injuries right now, because medical technology has just advanced so much, isn't it? The 3 injuries right now that completely fuck up a football career: ACL, hamstring, and if something goes wrong with your head. Like if something seriously goes wrong with your head,
like a stroke or something like that.
That's the 3 things that takes you out of football. Because almost everything else you can recover with modern medical technology, and you can keep playing. Ortega, but that is a footballer who's 56 years old. Ortega loves to play third wheel. Yeah, but again, I would be happy to keep him as a second goalkeeper if he stays. Ortega is a very good second keeper, especially the treble season. He was incredible. Do we remember his first game, guys, against Chelsea? It's not against Chelsea in the FA Cup.
I think was it FA Cup or was it Carabao?
I
can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah,
we won with it.
I remember
Alvarez scored a free kick, didn't he? That game.
Yeah, I think he did. I remember that game. I remember. I couldn't actually watch the game sadly because I was out, but I had to like track it on my phone. But I was reading about Ortega makes good saves, which is good.
Angry, upset Lewis Skelly don't like. I mean, if he plays well for England, fair enough, isn't it? Make this 4 hours. We're not going 4 hours.
My brain is just no.
I'm planning to do another stream tomorrow. I can't do 4 hours, mate. Zabaleta is Albania manager. Oh, Zabaleta is apparently Albanian manager. I didn't know.
Him and is it Stelvino? Stelvino, apparently. Yeah, they're both. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, cool.
Are the guys not watching England play World Cup favorites Albania?
No.
Like none of us want to see. Well, I want to see England lose. Let's be honest, but none of us want to see.
Look, it's a given. If we win the game, no one cares. If we beat Latvia, no one cares. I don't even care. Like it's obvious. Like if you can't be Latvia and Albania, then I've got to ask questions about everyone.
Yeah, some serious concerns.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, it was Carabao Cup game. You were right to connect. It was 2-0. We beat them 4-0 in the FA Cup, but his first game was Carabao Cup 2-0. You were right to connect. The FA Cup is where Alvarez scored that free kick, wasn't it?
Oh, of course. All right.
Yeah. I was wrong. My apologies.
Nice.
Anyhow, to round things up on, I say for the 3rd time this stream. We are good at this, aren't we? We just waffle on. Especially me. I'm like a professional waffler, but I'm doing it again now, by the way. To round things up on, I've got an incredible graphic here for you guys. And let me just share the screen, if I can. Oh, there you go. Well, I'm not on screen now, but that's fine. My ugly face can be hidden. There you go. And let me share that with you guys as well. Dun-dun-dun. How do you do this again? Fuck's sake. There you go. League titles won by domestic managers. This is from the start of the Premier League era.
Oh.
England, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What is the
England-
last English manager to win an English League title? Don't look it up. I know.
Eddie Howe.
No.
Last England manager, not next England manager. Well, right.
Oh.
Fergie isn't the answer because Fergie's born is Scottish. He's not
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Scottish.
Scottish. It's not.
Do you guys want the hints?
Go on.
He was manager for Arsenal.
George Graham.
Yes.
Yeah.
George Graham. It's funny. Everyone else is playing Nations League football. Meanwhile, England is playing World Cup qualifiers.
Because we're in Group B, mate. That's why we're not in it. Because he relegated us to B tier because we were that bad. Lost to Hungary 4-0 at home. We were that bad.
La Liga Fraud League. Yeah, look at La Liga. They're fraud as well.
Wait, was it Enrique won the last one?
Well, Ancelotti's not Spanish,
He's
is he?
Italian.
Yeah.
Italian.
And Diego Simeone's Argentinian.
Yeah, it's on Ricky.
No, Xavi. Xavi won.
Xavi.
Yeah.
It was Xavi.
That just brings from out of mind. Yeah, that 90%, by the way, by Italian managers in Serie A. Half of them is illegally, by the way, in case you didn't know. Half of that is illegally. And Ancelotti, those two combined.
Only the 10% are.
Then you have Simone and Zaghi as well. Conte is at the current title race is Simone and Zaghi and Conte, so they're both Italian. It's shocking, though, isn't it? It's shocking.
It's because Italy have very good managers throughout the country. Germany is a bit more, but also these countries actually have good coaching facilities that actually allow the good managers. Whereas
in England, you getting your badges in England is a fucking chore. It's just a chore. Same as Belgium, it's a chore.
Yeah, it should be easier. It should be easier. Because then I can manage and then I can get into football.
Our next, well, not our next manager, but 10 years from now, Luke will be Man City manager. On that note,
and it's over. Relegation. He's told me in 10 years' time, Alpha called me a fraud.
Yes,
he should be sacked.
Get that job. I will be fuming in the watch logs. I'll be saying, I'll call Luke at halftime and I'll be insulting him, verbally abusing him.
You will be. I'll be there. I'll be in the chat saying, go do one. I'll still be in the YouTube chats.
Anyhow, that's it for us. Thank you two, for coming on again. We've almost made it to 2 hours, so that's a good...
Yes.
I think that's the longest episode of Blue Friday Show.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
Also, big up to you as well for hitting 650 subscribers today.
Hey, nice.
And also big up to Patrick as well for everyone donating to his GoFundMe and also to help him sort of get through cancer. He's I think is it 24k now or 25,000 now, which is incredible. Like in a matter of a week, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to go and donate to him, obviously if you can afford it, please do. Obviously if you can't,
Oh, by the way, Luke and Connect, can you guys say something in chat, please, so I can watch you up?
Sure.
Before we go here,
I will do it now.
quickly say something.
I'll put test. Hold on. Circle of Bruges. No, I'm joking.
Banned. Okay, connect them. Let me give you mods. Add as moderator. There you go.
I'll do my personal one. I'll leave the other channel because it's use it anyway.
There you go.
Cool.
I've modded you both with that, so yeah. Where shall we redirect to? I don't see anyone live immediately.
This is City streams in 3 minutes.
We'll redirect there. We'll stretch the stream out for another 3 minutes, so we can redirect there when he goes live.
Right.
This is City. Oh wait.
I'll say I've got a separate account, bro, to answer it because it's just easier. I just the other account I used just because it was an account I wasn't using, and I find it easier commenting with my own personal account than commenting on the channel account. It's just a bit easier. Otherwise, you've got to keep going over, make sure you do the right things.
I don't have a personal account, but because this is my personal account. But like, if I had a separate thing, I would also have a personal account in it.
It might come something at some point. I might do it. It might change something at some point, but right now it's going to be that for the moment. I just figure out how to do a bit, but until then it'll just be that. So.
Yeah. So. Anything else before we end off on? Except that I can't keep on topic on these streams.
Well, big up everyone for tuning into the streams with us. I know it's been a bit of a quiet one. I know 115 isn't out yet, but judging by the things I'm hearing right now, it's good positive news. Again, I'm not in the know. I know fuck all of what everyone else does right now. But what I'm hearing is some good positive stuff about it. But again, we'll wait and see. Just be patient, guys.
The moment that 115 hits, we're all live streaming, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're all there. But
everyone's on it.
That's why I'm enjoying the break. While I will stream it next week at some point. Watch your space, but I'm chilling where I can right now because I know it's gonna be quite hectic for the rest of the season. So.
Yeah, the moment 115 happens, I think I'll come on your channel first, depending on when you go live, and then I like to wait until the day after to do my own stream because all the biggest channels are doing on the day itself.
I'll say this now, Balf. I'll connect to welcome as well. I'm gonna save my stream for after everyone else streams because the reality is I've got a lot to say myself, but I want to be able to be in the chats with everyone else to celebrate first. Then I'll say, right, now it's my turn. But I want to rather give my own time. But yeah, trust me.
Make a cock off. Did you mistype that? Make a cock off stream tomorrow. Did you mistype that?
Make a fuck off. I mean, I do it all the time. Make a fuck off stream. 3-4 hours, chatting rubbish, and then leave. Make a cock off. 10% will work like that.
I think that was a typo. Anyhow, big up everyone in here. Alfred and chat, thank you to everyone who subscribed. Big up to everyone. We're at 650 now. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.